Market update on the 28th. So another big move today. That is 2 days in a row of gapping up. And it really bailed me out in the video I talked about yesterday that I caught a falling knife. I was trying to base it on the gap fill and where I thought we were going to go after this. But I was stuck holding my calls here in the low 376 where we gapped up today. And I had to move today as well. And so when this gapped up to 381, 382, I sold them all for a pretty good profit. So I got lucky on that. It's probably not going to happen very often, but it was nice that it worked out that way. I was expecting at least 380 to 381 anyway, but I didn't know if it would be a gap up or not. So that was really nice. One thing that you can see by this chart, I have the 4-hour supply and 4-hour demand labeled. What has happened in the last couple of days? Well, first of all, this 4-hour got set right here, but we went from this demand zone straight up to supply. The supply zone was made right here. So you can see small candle and then big candle. And then we got small candle, big candle. So we come up here and hit this supply zone. That was an easy short. And then we come all the way back down here and hit the bottom of this demand zone. That was a tough buy because I did it and I knew it was tough because they were selling it off pretty hard and the VIX was rising. And then we get this move today, and where do we go? Right back to supply, and that was where the top was. We did not break the high of the day yesterday, so they're trying to leave a little bit of indecision, but in my mind, this has got to be a wave 1 because wave 2s don't normally retrace that much. We did hit the supply zone and bounce right off, so if you played just the supply and demand, you can make a bunch of money just like that, 384.60. Short right when it hits supply, and look how much you would gain. You would have gained $3 if you're able to hold through that. So looking good, and this looks like it's 5 waves to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so I have that labeled as wave 1. I don't see it being any possible way this is a wave 2, even though it didn't break the high here. So yeah, I think that we are going to retrace on Monday, and my retrace targets are 379.95 minimum to probably all the way down here to the gap fill at 376.99. So don't be surprised if Monday is red by a good amount. I would say down 1%. It could look something like this. And then maybe we bounce, so overall maybe something like this. That's going into Tuesday. It probably won't take more than a full day, I wouldn't think, but I'm looking for something back into demand. I think we'll probably hit this demand zone one more time, and you know it's a strong buy there. We've hit it many times, and you can see it's bounced every single time. So that would also be wave 2. This should be one of the simplest buy zones you can get right there. I don't see anything simpler than that. This was a tough one because it was an impulsive move. This is going to be a corrective move. So if this pulls back into demand, then we're looking for this to be wave 2 of overall wave 5, and I would look for a minimum of 390.42. And ultimately something probably up between 395 and 400, and then that would complete the overall 5th wave. So we have probably 1, 2, and then within that 1, 2, and then within that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, overall 3rd wave. Then we get this big pullback. That's coming, but I thought it had already started, but now I'm thinking that we probably are going to get another high. So that big pullback, let's say we go to 400, we're looking at a pullback down to 350 in my opinion, because we got a shallow wave 2 right here, or no, shallow wave 2 right here. We only retrace to the 0.5 fib, so I would look for something to the 0.38 fib. And this is also a very short, this is only about a month long. I think this fourth wave could stretch out a couple months. So we're getting ready to get some selling here after we top out in the next like week or two, and it could last a pretty long time. But then again, that's just going to be buy the dip for a fifth wave higher. So pretty good day overall, and just expect a pullback and then more upside over the next week or two. Let's get into Tesla now. So Tesla, I know I said that wave 4 was coming, and that's still possible. There's two routes from here actually. I think that it's actually what I have laid out is probably the most likely, but it is possible that it does go to a fifth wave, but I don't see how it's going to do that with how short of time we have to get up to 400. I mean, who knows? Maybe they announce something and it shoots up 10%. And I'll say this, I had this as an expanded flat. I think this is actually 5 waves. So 1, 2, well, this could be a fourth wave right here, and this is a fifth wave down. That's probably more likely, because if this were going to go to new highs, then this would have to be a wave 1, wave 2. So the two paths are basically, again, still what I had before, which is A, B, C, like that. Maybe even higher than that, maybe up to like 280. This ended at 254, 256, so maybe somewhere around 275 to 280, something like that. Or the possibility is that the fourth wave is finished and we are starting, and we'd have to get a pretty big pop though, up here to the top, close to 300, and then something like this. And if I remember right, there is a big demand zone or supply zone. This is possible because I was measuring this fourth wave to be the same length as this, but a lot of times when you have a long drawn out second wave, the fourth wave is short. So that would mean that this could be finished right here. If that were to happen, there is a supply zone somewhere up in here. I erased it, but I think I had this as a supply zone right here. Let me see. Well, and we have this gap fill up here too at 289. No, actually, it's not very good supply zones up there. So just two different possibilities. Either way, I think we're going to at least 275. But this would have to have a big pop here soon. It would likely start mid next week, and this would have to be wave 1, pullback wave 2, and then we'd have to get a huge move, like something like that. And then this would be like the overall third wave. No, that would not be the third wave. Third wave would be like this, and then we'd have to go like that. So that is possible. Or again, the other possibility is the fourth wave is going to be more drawn out, and we are going to come down here to 235. In that case, it is what I had before. It's A, B, C, like that. So it's I'm not sure which one's going to play out. It looks to me probably like we're going to get A, B, C though, but I wanted to bring in another possibility. So that's probably most likely. So that's Tesla, and again, zooming out here, third wave ended right here. This is either fourth wave or A, B, C, fourth wave down here. and then we make a new high. Leaning towards ABC down here to 235 still. Microsoft. So corrected this one a little bit because what I had didn't make sense. I had this as an expanded flat. This is actually the end of the third wave right here. So we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3. We're currently in a fourth wave here. The fourth wave, or the first and second wave, only took about less than a month. This has taken so far only about 10 days. And so again, I'm leaning on a longer fourth wave on Microsoft. I think that makes the most sense. And so we're not able to do a fifth wave here, in my opinion. I think this is probably, actually I'm pretty sure that this is ABC, and then this is just the A wave. And we are starting a B wave. So I would expect something like this. This is probably maybe a slight pullback on Monday, Tuesday, and then we're going to get a pop up here. Probably fill this gap here at 350. You can see we have another gap fill right here. And then that would be the overall B wave. And based on how long this took, July 18th to the 26th, 8 days later is August 3rd. So going into Apple earnings, I expect Microsoft to be around 350 potentially. And then I would expect a sell-off. So maybe the 5-wave move on QQQ will be done by Apple earnings. And then I would expect something down to about 315, maybe drawn out a little bit more. Let's just look at the fibs on this, because I was thinking if this is going to go to a fifth wave here, it's not going to go to new highs, I don't think, over the next week or so. So it's probably a B wave because this is a short second wave, so we're probably going to get an extra long fourth wave. And as far as retracements, so again, and then look at this, the 0.38 fib is around 320. It could even correct past that because there's a gap fill at 314. So don't be surprised if we get something like this. ABC 350 and then another move down. It could go past 352. That's just a projection. And then we should get another move down. This would be pretty quick though, maybe August 11th. And then who knows after that? That would be outside the parallel line. And then it could start its overall fifth wave. So this would be 4. And they could start the overall fifth wave up here to the top. And that would make wave 3. That would be wave 3 of this right here. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4. This would actually only be the overall third wave. That's what I have right now. No. That would be the overall third wave. I'm sorry. So, confusing myself. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So, Microsoft making a B wave. If you want to buy the dip early next week, you could probably get it all the way up to 350. But B waves are typically not the best to buy. Meta, I think this has a little bit more upside. I think the third wave ended right here. And I think that, so you can see right here, we have the third wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're currently in a fourth wave. Maybe we dip down here on Monday, back down here somewhere, and then we go up higher to complete the overall fifth wave. I said in previous videos, I don't know where we're at. I think this is probably, I lost count on this one because it's just straight up. So I'm basically just going on smaller time frames and looking at supply and demand. But on this move right here, it's pretty obvious it's a 5-wave move. So I would look for a pullback and then another move higher on Meta. Amazon. On the log chart, we still have not broken out of this parallel line, and we have two gap fills at 141 and 144. I'm not sure if it'll make it there this time, but those are right ahead. And this was a 5-wave move. So and this looks like a B wave to me. So this might go down a little bit farther on I like lost interest in charting Amazon and Meta because of the choppiness. But we'll have to watch it on Monday and see what it does. Gap fills at 141 and 144. Google is more obvious, easier to chart. Google, Microsoft are very easy to chart. Apple, Meta, and Amazon are, I don't really like charting them that much anymore. They've gone too far straight up where it's like kind of dicey trying to predict where they're going to go. They're going to go higher, but you don't know where you're at in the waves, in my opinion. This one's pretty easy though. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a gap fill at 141. Looks very strong to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, potentially to 141 to complete the overall 5th wave, and then it can pull back for a 4th wave. So 1, 2, something like that. So that's pretty much it for right now. Tesla, again, is either making a B wave or starting the 5th wave higher. I would lean towards a B wave. QQQ is likely to go up here to 395 to 400 before we get a massive dip. Microsoft, likely to be in a B wave to 350 gap fill, and then I would expect more downside. Meta, I'm expecting a little bit of downside on Monday and then more upside. Amazon, gap fills a little bit higher at 141 and 144. Google, look for a 4th wave pullback and a 5th wave higher. Last one I haven't done in a long time, but I'll take a look at it. NVDA. So, and I had this charted on May 30th, and I haven't updated it that much, but as you can see, I had it as a 4th wave right here. So if that is the 4th wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, and look at that. It actually has worked out perfectly. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like there's another move higher. So I would expect NVIDIA to go all the way to 500 test. It looks like NVIDIA is going to get a 500 test here in the next week or two, and then that should be the top. We'll finally get a sizable dip in NVIDIA after all that time. That is really crazy. So obviously there's no gap fills. It's at all-time highs, so just expect more upside over the next week in NVIDIA, and it actually is going to carry a lot of the weight too. It's going to be, if it goes to 500, that's another 6-7%, something like that. So there it is. That's all the tech stocks. Actually, I didn't go over Apple. I don't really like charting this one, but we got to go over it. So Apple. Oh, and I got to do another stock too after this. Apple. I'll have to do this one later. I had it as a third wave right here. I'll have to do this one later. I'm not sure on it right now. But I am going to go over US Steel. Actually, let's look at the standard deviation on Apple. So Apple is sitting right in the middle on the daily, on the hourly, a little bit above the middle as well. It's just not really something I want to touch going into earnings, but I'll check it out later today. So US Steel. I told a commenter that I would do this chart and I forgot about it. So let's do that now. I personally don't really like it that much. I looked at it the other day. I think that this is just some kind of corrective move. And I thought that this was the overall B wave right here. So we have A, B, and it still could be, I guess. It could be the B wave, but it didn't gap fill here. We have a gap fill right here. And I think we have a gap fill here now. Let me look. Slight gap fill here. No gap fill here anymore. It filled this gap to the upside. But there is a gap fill right here at 1935. I think that this is actually an ABC move. So it starts right here. ABC, and then we get a pullback right here. This looks like a big ABC move right here, expanded flat. And so I was looking for something around 26.38. It came to 25.91. Let's zoom in here on the hourly though. But this does look like a pretty good formation overall for it. I can see it coming down a little bit more. And actually, this could be a wave 1 right here. So maybe it will go a little bit higher. And I have this supply zone already drawn up. Let me zoom out here. So on the daily chart, there's a pretty obvious supply zone right here. We get a big move down after that. There's also a supply zone right here. So I would expect, and we hit it right here. You can see we hit it right there. This might come up here a little bit higher. The 1.61 fib is right in there as well, 26.67. So maybe it goes a little bit higher than that even too. So this looks pretty good overall. In my opinion, it looks like an ABC move right here. As long as it holds 22.71, I would expect more upside. But for the overall move that I see, I think that this is probably a B wave. So A, B, if it comes up here to this supply zone, I could see it coming back down here to 1932, filling this gap. And then you can see the A wave started down here at 1621. So we would have an overall A, what did I do? A, B, and I'm still looking for a C wave higher to at least the top of this sometime later, maybe after the overall market dips for the next couple of months. So something like this to complete the overall ABC move, and then I'm looking for another move way down. So I'm not really that bullish overall on this right now. There might be a little bit more upside, but it looks like it's probably in a B wave. And then you can also look, another reason why I'm not bullish is look where this is at on the standard deviations. Before today, it was the very top, 25.87. Look where it's, in March, it was at the very top and it came straight down. Look where it's at right now. So if it comes back down here, then I think it could probably pop one more time, but I am not really that bullish on this. I mean, 4 hour, it could come up here one more time, and then somewhere in this range, I would probably be short. And yeah, gap fill down here at 1935. We'll see if it happens, but the overall market's going to dip here soon. So I'll leave it at that. I'll leave the key takeaways in the description. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe if you liked the video. And I'll put some more videos out this weekend, maybe over some growth stocks, SoFi, maybe I'll probably do a video before earnings on Monday. And that's it. Have a good weekend.